Hey everybody on YouTube, I thought I'd take a moment to do another vintage video repair or Q&A. Today we're doing a vintage video repair on a Umatic 3/4 Umatic machine. This is the VO-9600. It's a big time common problem on these machines. I've been getting several machines over the past couple months that have this issue. Sometimes I can fix it, sometimes I can't, depending on parts and availability. As you can see, I got the machine open and you're looking at the video head scanner. That's the actual video head on the motor drum scanner that's used to scan the video head or the video tape as the tape is running through the machine. As you can see, the video head is mounted on top, soldered to a circuit board with 2 wires. You would think to yourself, just change out the video head if you could actually find one. But in this case, today, because the actual scanner is not working properly, I replaced the entire scanner. As you can see, it looks brand new. It's got very low hours on it. I had to replace it completely, take it completely out of there. It was really a kind of a bad situation. This is caused by bad videotape or dirty tape or sticky tape, people forcing tapes through the machine and not cleaning the machine properly. Basically, the video head got sheared off and there was only one video head on here and the machine just wasn't working properly. As you can see over here, when I replace a video head, if I have the available parts, I replace the entire scanner. I don't sit there and just replace the video head because you do have to set up the head properly and make sure you got it in right. Sometimes the heads don't match up to other scanners and you just have all kinds of issues. So what I do is basically replace the whole scanner if I have it available. As you can see, I had one available. This one right here in my hand is junk. The circuits on the bottom here that run the scanner are having some issues, so the video head, the scan wasn't working, it wasn't syncing up properly on top of it. So in this case, I just swapped out the entire scanner, so now the video head scanner that's in there now is working properly. So that's a big issue if you want one of these machines fixed, and it's not cheap, it's expensive. If I have one of these parts, you know, you're looking at replacing the video scanner between $100 and $200 just for the scanner. So just to let you know, if you break a video head on the 3/4 Umatic machines, you're going to be kind of in a bad situation. So if you go buying these machines on eBay or whatever, they're expensive, and most of the time none of them even work. So that's the type of issue you're going to run into. Okay, if you look inside the machine, you'll see you got 2 spindles where the tape loads, and then you got a clutch tire in the center. Basically what that does is it flips from side to side for fast forward, play, or rewind. You need to put a new rubber tire on there. You need to pull those spindles out and re-lube them. Brand new grease. That will get all that freed up. That's a common thing you have to do. And you got to also clean the video heads along the side and the back. And you have to actually take out the motor-driven loading gear. As you see where my finger is, you have to re-lube, clean those gears, and put a brand new belt on. That's another common problem on these machines. Then you have to actually come over here to the Capstan Motor. If you see where my finger is, the Capstan Motor, that little shaft where it pushes down on the tape when it drags it through the machine, you have to clean that shaft really good with like a Brillo pad or something like that. Get all the video residue, glue, and crap off of the little spindle. It does stick to that spindle from tapes that are breaking down, so you need to clean that real well. Clean the heads real well. Alright, then you're going to come into the machine and you're going to notice along the side that you have this what's called Aperture. This is what actually puts the tape in lock during play. This has to be taken apart and greased as well because it will stick and lock in when the tape is loading. It may not even load completely because this won't move. So this has to be lubed and reset as well. Then you're going to come to the problem of the loading carriage. Okay, sometimes the loading carriages are really bad condition, and even if you put a belt on them, they don't work. You know, they start having issues. In this case, I had a spare loading carriage as well. As you can see, I had one here. This is actually the bad loading carriage, but I'm just going to show you as an example. As you can see, this loading carriage has, you know, this one here is sticking the actual carriage from side to side. The little rollers are starting to stick, so I have to take this carriage apart and fix it properly so I can use it on another machine. I don't have time for that. When I'm fixing a machine and it needs a new loading carriage, if I have a matching working one, I'll swap it out. So in this case, I just happen to swap it out. This one I will fix later, and this will be another working loading carriage. But again, I swapped out the video head scanner. I swapped out the loading carriage. I swapped out the belts and cleaned up the loading drive. Re-lubed the spindles, brand new clutch tire. Re-lubed loading pressure. It's called a pressure apparatus that actually locks in place when it's actually in play when the loading ring is around the actual drum itself. You have to make sure this is lubed as well. Okay, and then of course I did the loading carriage. That's pretty much all you need to do on top. And then you got your little pinch roller. You know, you have to swap those out or change them if they're bad, or clean them. In this case, I swapped out the whole arm because the actual pinch roller was a complete disaster. Okay, that's all you do basically on the top part of the machine. And then if the loading ring is off like this one was, you have to reset the loading ring. In some cases, sometimes they get jammed. I actually had to do that as well. So it's quite a bit of work on the upper part of a 3/4 Umatic machine if it's having a lot of issues. But let me show you the bottom of the machine, and we'll go from there, and then we can finish up on how you fix a VO-9600 Sony 3/4 Umatic machine. Okay, here's the bottom of the Sony VO-9600 3/4 Umatic machine. As you actually can see, I flipped the machine over, and you're going to notice you got several things here. Here's where, up on top, where I replaced the video scanner. You have to bolt it down here. This is where that part is, where the video head is. When you put the new scanner in, you got 3 bolts. You got to change it out and plug in 3 different wires. You change that out. Pretty simple. This is your actual motor. It's your Capstan motor, which actually drags the tape around the machine. This actually unplugs and comes out completely if you want to make it easier for you to clean it. Or if it's bad, you can replace it. It's just a few little screws, and you got another one. You could change that out as well. You do have to have parts. Just gonna let you, just a big time reminder, you need parts for these machines. If they start having problems and they need repairs, it's, you know, what I charge for the repair is very justified for what you're getting, because I do go through the machine thoroughly. As you can see down here, you have to have these belts. This is what controls your clutch wheel, which flips your fast forward, rewind, and play. You got to make sure to put a belt on here that's not too tight or too loose. It's got to fit just right. And as you can see, I put a brand new belt on this, and it's no problem. The tension is perfectly. These little actuators, what they do is they go back and forth, and they flip the clutch wheel and fast forward, play, rewind, whatever the situation is. Then you shouldn't have to concern yourself with anything else on the machine. If you change the belt out, or if this loading motor here, this clutch tire motor, which activates the actual clutch tire and spins it, if this thing is not working right, you do need to change this out as well. It depends on what your issues are, but this is a very simple machine to work or fix if you have parts. And you know, I stress to you, you gotta have a lot of parts. So as you come over here, you shouldn't have to concern yourself with anything else but changing out the scanner if you have to, taking this out, replacing it, or taking it out to clean if you have to, changing the belt. That should be all you need to do at the bottom of this unit. So there you go, guys. That's how you service a Sony VO-9600 3/4 Umatic machine. I service these all the time. I know I've been doing this for a very, very long time. So as you can see, I deal with vintage video and vintage video repair, and I do a lot of transfers. It's not just fixing or transferring videotape. You have to actually fix the machines that you're using. A good machine is a good video transfer. Just keep that in mind. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.